Hey there, flippers, and welcome back to Second Life Treasures. So on today's video, we are going to be doing another weekly recap. And yeah, it has been a fairly busy week, but yeah, the profits still aren't there. We're very much still in the summer slump, unfortunately. But yeah, fingers crossed with the... So what I think by the time we get to the end of August, we'll probably start seeing it turn around. Obviously with the schools going back. And yeah, fingers crossed it will get better. So for this week, we had a total of 20 sales. Total revenue was £469 and 38p. That landed us a total profit of £226 and 31p for total RO, or for an average ROI, sorry, of 540%. So yeah, not too bad there. But diving into the first sale for the week, and this was actually one that I think we had over the weekend. So this was the complete Resident Evil movie bundle on DVD. Six movie DVD bundle. And yeah, so this sold on the 11th. So this was actually on Sunday. So I think this was actually the last sale of the week, which was really good. And yeah, so total sale price was £14.99p. Total cost for those was £1. So I'm not too sure where they come from. They're ones that I've had for absolutely ages. And I think I was sorting through in the bedroom just after I sort of switched over to full time. And yeah, found all 6 of them, got them listed. And yeah, they sold fairly quickly. So yeah, not too bad there. Total profit on them was £7.71p with an ROI of 771%. And then our number 9 sale was going to be the Google Nest Mini second generation. This was one that I actually picked up from my local charity shop. I think it was, I want to say 2 weeks ago, I think we picked this up. So paid £5 for this. As you can see there, it sold for £19.99p for a total profit of £8 and a penny, and that landed us a total ROI of 160%. So yeah, not masses, but still, it's not a bad sale. So moving on, we've actually got a couple of questions to include in this week's video. So the first one is from J Brano9. So Jay's made quite a few comments on the channel recently, so massive thank you for that. And this was on last Monday's video. So another great video, mate. Glad that you managed to get the feedback removed. When you show your sales in the future, would it be possible to get Would it be possible to get a close-up photo of the item? It's hard to see in the bottom corner, but if it's hassle, don't worry. Look forward to your next video. Well, Jay, as you would have seen on the first 2 listings that we've shown, yeah, I can do that, and it's something I'm going to do moving forward. So, as well, like Jay, if there's anything else you want me to include in these weekly updates, leave me a comment down below, and if I can do it, I will be more than happy to get that added in to the weekly videos. So, moving on to our next sale, and I am pretty sure that this is an up-and-coming boot fair pickup. So this is a Ravensburger Disney Castle 3D puzzle. 206 piece. It is complete. It's in the original box. Yeah, this was one I actually picked up from Lazy Bones. Once again, I'm pretty sure this is in a future video. Not sure what video. I haven't checked yet. So for this one, we paid £5 for this. It actually sold, I think this was sold on under offer. So yeah, £20 the buyer paid, £6.50 postage for a total sale price of £26.50p. With the shipping, obviously it was a medium parcel, so that goes for £6.59, I think it is. And yeah, that landed us a £9.95p profit. So I will admit the first 3 sales of this week, the first 3 that we've said in the video, not exactly where I want to be. Obviously, I'm aiming to try and be at the £10 profit mark. But yeah, it does still show that there's a lot of stuff on the store that is below that. So I think I am going to be doing a bit more of a review on the store going forward. So yeah, look for that in a future update video where I go into what I've been doing. So next up, we've got, once again, I think this is going to be another future boot fair video because, yeah, a lot of the stuff that I've been picking up recently, I've been getting it, what I tend to do is I pick it up on the Sunday and then they get listed over the course of sort of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And I've had quite a few bits that have been selling really quickly. So, yeah, this was one of them. And I think, if I remember right, this one also come from Lazy Bones. But what immediately made me pick these up was the fact that they were absolutely spotlessly clean. The seller at the boot fair did admit that she had run them through the washing machine, so that is why they were so clean. But for me, they were basically list ready, which was really good. So we picked these up for £3. They sold for £21.99p. Once again, I think, looking at the price, I believe these were originally listed at £20, and I sent a 15% offer on this. It was accepted by the buyer, so yeah, total sale price is £21.99p for a total profit of £10.49p, which is exactly where I want to be, and a total ROI of 350%. I'm not sure, I think I might have skipped over it, but the ROI on the puzzle, which was the previous one, the Ravenburg Disney Castle, that was 199% on that one. So the next question that we've got, I'm going to say have no clue how to say this name. El Tigra 6917. Not too sure. I've completely butchered that, so I want to say sorry for that. Good timing on this video. I had a very similar feedback on a GSP item, on a GSP item not packaged securely, and postage was expensive. Both nothing to do with me. Have left it, but might try and get it removed now. Yeah, so this was, once again, this was left on last week's video where I spoke about getting my feedback removed, negative feedback removed from a global shipping sale. So yeah, as I say, if you do get negative feedback on global shipping, and it is around packaging, postage costs, shipping time, anything like that, always immediately raise it with eBay. So what you have to do, the policy that they want, the process that eBay want you to follow is you go on to the help section. There's a section in there that says about removing negative feedback. Click on that. Put in the appeal to get the negative feedback removed. Then, if it is rejected, go through the chat system. And what I do is I just copy and paste into the chat system, request a callback, click anything, and then you just have to paste it in a couple of times. Then it will sort of start the request to callback, and yeah, speak to someone, they'll immediately go through and get it removed for you. So yeah, it's not as streamlined as we would want it to be, but it is still an option to get some negative feedback removed. As I've said before, negative feedback isn't as big of a deal as a lot of people tend to make it out to be. I'll be honest, if you're a successful seller on eBay, you're going to get negative feedback. There is no way that you're going to get 100% satisfaction. So yeah, it's just part of the course. It doesn't have any effect on your store or your page or anything like that. So yeah, as long as you're not getting too much negative feedback, the odd bit here and there isn't going to have any major effect on you. So jumping back, let's have a look at our number 6 sale of the day. So I need to click onto the next couple, and there we go. Got a pair of men's black Lonsdale boxing boots. I think we've had this on. once again, I'm so lost on sort of what boot fair videos have gone out and what haven't. But I remember this was picked up from the normal Sunday boot fair. And yeah, once again, I think these sold, these are a received offer. So yeah, they sold for £22 with $4.99 shipping. So where am I looking? £5 we paid for them. As I say, £26.99 was the total sale price, which landed us a total profit of £12.91 for an ROI of 258%, which was really good. And then our number 5 sale, I know for a fact has been on the channel. I don't know whether it's been on this channel actually, or whether I don't know whether I included this on my resale channel. I think this might have been something I included on my gaming channel. So a little while ago, we picked up a whole load of stuff from Dumpster Diving UK at the normal Sunday boot fair. And while I was there, one of the things that I spotted was a N64. And when I was getting the N64 out, he said, oh, I've got a game in the box. So we put the game in the console, and it was Bomberman 64. So I've already got this in my collection. So I immediately thought, well, let's get it listed, get it sold. So yeah, I did that. And I think actually it probably sold within about a week. It's not one that's been listed for sort of quite a while. No, actually, no, it's a bit longer than a week. I'd say it's about a month and a half at most it's been listed for. So yeah, really happy with that. Once again, I did take an offer on this. I think originally I had it priced up at £20. But yeah, I was quite happy to take a £15 offer on it. I've actually got a zero purchase price on this. Because it was included with the N64, and I've actually already sold the N64. I think that went to Nikki. I'm pretty sure I sold it to Nikki. So yeah, we've got a zero purchase price on this. As I say, sold for £18.50, landed us a total profit of £12.97, and a total ROI of 100%, because obviously there's no purchase price involved there. And then that's it, isn't it? We've done, yeah, that's 4 and 5. So now we're moving on to the next set of questions. So the next question we got, once again, I believe this was on last Tuesday's video. And this comes from Chris Manson UK. How comes you don't use Royal Mail 48? It is cheaper and you get tracking and cover it up to £150. I think what the reason why Chris has brought this up is if I switch back to the PC screen. No, not that one. There we go. So if I switch back to the PC screen, you'll see here I've got Royal Mail second class. Royal Mail second class signed for. Originally, when I set up my postage policies, and I haven't even switched back to the PC screen, have I? There we go. So there we go. On the listings, I've got like Royal Mail second class signed for, Royal Mail second class. Basically, when I originally started the store, I set up postage policies. And what I done was I just selected what ones I was using at the time. At the time, when I first started, it was actually cheaper to send signed for and standard second class than it was to do tracked. And then it was about 18 months ago, I think it was, with a price change, actually become cheaper to send tracked than it did signed for. And what I've actually done recently, so I haven't actually had a chance to go through and rename my postage policies, but what I have done, I think it was about, I want to say 4 or 5 months ago, I actually changed everything in the store to tracked only. So I no longer use standard second class post anymore, and yeah, everything is done via tracked shipping now. So regardless of what sort of package it is, so whether it's a padded mailer, small parcel, medium parcel, and the large ones go a bit differently, but I don't really send a lot of them. Everything goes Royal Mail 48 tracked. And the reason for that is more for sort of my protection. So I'll give you an example. Just after I think it was one of the was one of the sales that went through a couple of days after I switched to just doing tracked postage, and it was for an Amazon Kindle Fire tablet. So sent it out on time. Everything was good. And then about a week later, I get a item not received case raised. So I look into it and obviously knew that the item was tracked. So immediately went into the Royal Mail tracking number, saw that they had attempted delivery twice and that it was sitting at the sorting office. So I immediately went back to the buyer. I said, I've looked at the tracking details. Appears that they've tried to deliver it twice for you. It's currently sitting at this sorting office. And literally within an hour, I got an alert to say that the item, or I went back on later that day. That was it. I went back on later that day. And basically the buyer had picked up the tablet about an hour after I sent that message. So yeah, I don't know, whether they just didn't know that it was there or they were trying to sort of scam, I don't know. I will assume the best, that they just didn't know that it was there. But equally, I've currently got another item not received case opened. Once again for an Amazon tablet, which makes me laugh. But this one hasn't actually been attempted yet, because apparently there's been an error with Royal Mail. And they've admitted it on their tracking page, that it was sent to the wrong sorting office. It's now sitting at the right sorting office, and I think the day that you'll see the day this video goes live, they should attempt delivery. So fingers crossed, by the time this video goes live, that will all be sorted as well. But yeah, I will say one of my big things is, so if you're selling on eBay, I don't want this to come across negative, but when you're selling on eBay, you have to do everything you possibly can to protect yourself. Now, that is right from once buying the right items to how you list the items, making sure that if there's any faults, you're detailing those faults. Anything, just the slightest little thing, that you're detailing it on the listing, down to sort of the shipping. Now, I know that the shipping costs are... It's a big thing to manage. I will admit, I would say we're extremely lucky compared to the US. Looking at watching some of the US sellers and seeing what they're having to pay out is just astronomical. But obviously they're charged different rates dependent on sort of where they're shipping in the US. Whereas in the UK, there's actually a law in place that Royal Mail have to offer the same postage costs regardless of where in the country it's been sent to. So yeah, and I think actually, to be quite honest, if you look at a small parcel, for example, it isn't that big a difference. So sending it tracked, you're looking at £3.39. To send it second class, I think it's, I want to say £3.09 now. So it's like 20p difference just to send it standard second class. And then actually second class signed for is more expensive than tracked. So yeah, I never use that anymore. But yeah, do you know what I mean? I look at it from the perspective of that 20p could end up saving me however much. So if we take, for example, the last one, so the Bomberman 64 on the N64, that's a £12 or nearly £13 profit that we would lose out on if that wasn't tracked. And I think for that 20p, I'd rather pay that as an insurance to know that I can sort of verify that the item's been delivered. And the thing is regardless of what happens, as long as that parcel is marked as delivered on the tracking, anything that happens after that isn't your responsibility. So say, for example, Royal Mail leave it on the doorstep, someone then swipes that parcel from the doorstep. It isn't actually your responsibility at that point. The buyer would then have to go to Royal Mail and make a claim for that item. So yeah, I would say, if you can, always send tracked. As well, if you're a new seller on eBay, it will also help you get paid out quicker. If I remember rightly, when you're a new seller, basically eBay will hold on to your funds until you've built up a sort of level of trust within the eBay system. But initially, they'll hold on to your funds. And if I remember rightly, I think it's something like 21 or 24 days they will hold it. So if you set, so for example, if you were to send an item via Royal Mail second class, so there's no tracking, there's no proof of delivery, and you then have to wait 21 to 24 days for eBay to make those funds available. Whereas if you send tracked, say for example you send it 48-hour tracked, that item then gets delivered 2 days later. As soon as that item is marked as delivered, your funds are then released to you. So instead of waiting 24 days, you'll end up waiting 3 days, for example. And obviously, once you get to a level of trust, eBay will just automatically release your funds straight off the bat. I will admit, it's got a lot quicker with regards to the releasing of funds. I think when I first started, a sale that I made today, the funds wouldn't be released wouldn't be made available until tomorrow, and then wouldn't be paid out until well, if we go on the day that this video goes live. So sale today, funds would be made available on Wednesday, and then the funds would be sent to my bank on the Thursday. Whereas now, if I was to make a sale today, I can literally make a sale up to 11:59 and 59. Those funds are then made available for me straight away, and then they're essentially paid out tomorrow morning for me. So yeah, they've definitely improved the payout process. So yeah, that's a really good one. But yeah, as I say, sort of going back to the original question, I am no longer using Sign For. I do everything tracked now, regardless of size. So when I'm actually, as well, when I'm calculating my profit on an item to see if it's worth listing, I'm actually calculating it with the tracked shipping. So, for example, some of the VHSs that I've been selling from the storage unit, my price will include £3.95 for my shipping. And that is because the VHSs won't go as a large letter. They have to go as a small parcel. So yeah, that is how I sort of view shipping now. And yeah, I'd highly recommend, if you're going to be doing shipping, always do tracked. It just covers you regardless of the situation, whether Royal Mail lose it, the buyer doesn't receive it for whatever reason, or the buyer is trying to scam. And yeah, it just covers you. So, switching back, let's have a look at our number 4 sale. I think we're on to now, aren't we? So this is another one of the pound puppies. So I think on last week's video I explained how I think it was first year of sort of doing the channel. I made a pickup from one of the boot fairs that I went to, and it was a massive box full of pound puppies. And yeah, I'd literally just put them in the loft and left them there. Didn't do anything with them. And then about 6 months ago, brought them down. The wife cleaned them all. And yeah, they sort of trickle out the door now. I've not got too many left. I've probably got about 10, or between the sort of the big and the small ones. Yeah, I've probably got about 10 left now. But yeah, this one come in. So once again, because it was bought in a bundle, I've worked it out to about 94p per puppy. So total sale price on this was £24.99. Landed us a total profit of £15.31 for a total ROI of 1,629%. And then moving on to our number 3 sale of the day. This was probably one of my favourite pickups of the last few weeks. So this is a Thomas & Friends wooden railway steaming around Sodor. So it is complete. It does come in the original box. It just didn't have any of the original inserts. But the big thing with this, so I actually picked it up from my local charity shop. And the big plus with this, so when I picked it up, I assumed that it was just this set in there. It turned out it was not. It was far, far better. So it had 2 separate sets, both complete. It also had a whole load of the different trains. So I think you had like Gordon, Henry, Toby, Percy, Diesel were all sort of extras that weren't included in either of the sets. So I've actually been able to list those separately, and they're listed for the single ones. So Toby, Percy, and Diesel are listed for about £10 each. Henry and Gordon, because they've actually got the separate tender that goes on the back as well, they're listed for about £15 to £18 each. So yeah, absolutely smashed out the park with this one. I was really, really happy. As I say, you'll see here we got £40 for this set. And then I've got to say I've got another set listed as well. Didn't have the box, but it is complete. And I think that's listed for about £30 as well. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be keeping my eye out for the Thomas and Friends wooden railways going forward. So with everything that we picked up, we originally paid £5 for this. But spreading the price over everything else that I found in the box, it works out I paid £1 for this one. So you'll see there, £40 sale price. Total profit was £22.63p for a total ROI of 2,263%. And yeah, absolutely over the moon with that one. So, looking at the last couple of comments that we got on some of the videos last week, we actually got a couple of comments from Saturday's boot fair video. So this was the trip out to Thamesmead. And yeah, very, very different boot fair from the ones that we normally visit. And yeah, the first comment we've got here is from Roger Miller, 1727. That looked horrendous. I thought some of those Nikes might be fake. Just had too many. Congrats on reaching 1K. So thanks for the congrats, Roger. Yeah, I will admit I did get caught out with one of the pairs. I've looked at the others that I picked up are all fine. I think I've actually got them all listed now. I think I listed them on Saturday. Yeah, it was an absolutely mad one. I've never been to a boot fair like that. It was so aggressive. It really was. I had a bit of a run-in with one of the gaming, I'm assuming he's a gaming reseller. But yeah, I'll leave that where it is because that's caused a bit of controversy over on my gaming channel. But yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, that's just how it goes. Obviously, when you're in London, you tend to have a very different attitude. As I say, I grew up in London. I think I lived in London until I was about 5, then moved to Kent. But I had relatives up in London I used to go and stay with in the summer holidays right the way through until I was sort of a teenager. So yeah, I've spent a lot of my life up in London, so I'm quite used to sort of how hectic it can be. But another comment that we got was from Steamy Train Lee. Savage stuff. Who would have thought that Medway would look civilized compared to this mob? They can keep it. Yeah. Do you know what? I will partly agree with you on that. Yeah, it can get a bit hectic at the like the normal Sunday boot fair, for example. Obviously, there are certain people that are going for certain things. But yeah, I will admit it was a very different experience, and yeah, it just is what it is. I am going to go back to Thamesmead. I will admit I've had one of the video game collectors from the normal boot fairs. He came up to me on Sunday actually and said, hopefully you're going to go back and do another video there. And I'm definitely going to go back there. I'll have to see sort of when it's on and sort of when I've got time. And yeah, it is what it is. I like trying new boot fairs. Obviously, the problem that you have with going to other boot fairs, and one of the big issues that we had, both me and Nikki had at this boot fair, was one of the very first places that we went was basically we walked onto the field, and over in sort of the far right corner, one of the house clearance guys was setting up. So we were like, we'll head over and have a look what they've got. and they were sort of unloading the van. We sort of went round the back and we were just sort of looking at the van, looking in the van, obviously stepping back so that we weren't in their way or anything like that. And I think Nicky caught a glimpse of a load of they were Airfix models, but they were cars, not planes. And he was like, "Oh, is there any chance of sort of having a look at them?" I was like, "No, they've already sold." Okay. And then I think there was another sort of 1 or 2 things that Nicky sort of looked at, and both of them that he asked, no, they've already sold. And I said to Nicky, sort of, what's the point of paying to come to a boot fair if you've already sold everything? So yeah, obviously if you're going to a new boot fair and you're fresh fish basically, you're not going to have any connections, you're not going to be known there, and yeah, it can actually up the difficulty for the boot fair. But as I say, I like going to other boot fairs because I like seeing other stuff. Different boot fairs, they have different especially sort of different boot fairs in different areas. You might go to sort of a more affluent area where the stuff that you get off there is more like more designer stuff, more high-end electricals, things like that. So yeah, different boot fairs, you can end up walking away with different things. And to be quite honest, I'm quite happy with what we did walk away with. I got a whole bunch of trainers, a whole stack of Kindle Fires. I think in the video I only actually showed the second time that I went to that stall. And I think I got 2 there. I think I got 3 earlier on in the day as well. So yeah, very, very different thing. But yeah, something I am not going to shy away from. We'll definitely be doing more new boot fairs as and when I can. And I think over the winter as well, we're going to be revisiting a couple of other boot fairs as well. I'm hoping to go to Ashford a couple of times. I was actually hoping to go to Ashford this weekend because I'm actually helping a family member move house. So my sister-in-law's new boyfriend is actually going to be moving in with her. He currently lives up in Ashford, so we were going to go help him move down. And what I was hoping to do is actually get up there early, go to the Ashford Boot Fair, and then go on and help move them. But unfortunately, I have to drive the van, so I've got to hire a van down here in Maidstone, drive it up to Ashford, and I can't pick the van up until 8:30. So yeah, bit gutted about that, but we will be doing some trips to Ashford during the winter. I'm also hoping to get back over to Essex as well. I can never remember the name of the area. Begins with C. But yeah, obviously we went there earlier on in the year when Nicky was selling. And yeah, definitely going to be heading back there. Probably what I might do is the next time we go there, I might set up to sell. Leave the missus to do the selling while I go and do the buying. But yeah, so we are going to be going back to a couple of other boot fairs. And we're also, I'm going to try and have a look at a couple of other boot fairs as well. Obviously, I know we've not been to Swanley in a while as well. I will admit, with Swanley now, I'm probably just going to wait now until the local boot fairs wrap up. I think the normal Sunday boot fair's probably got about another 5 weeks on it. So yeah, we'll head off there. I will say actually, before I jump on to the last 2 sales for the week, I have been really impressed with the weather this year. I think we had a couple of boot fairs rained off towards the beginning, but I can't actually remember the last boot fair that was rained off. So yeah, the weather, hats off to the weather for this year. You've done absolutely superbly, especially on a Sunday. So yeah, it's definitely going to be a interesting winter, shall we say. So before we wrap up, let's quickly jump back and have a look at our top 2 sales for the week. And let me just get everything set up. So our number 2 sale is actually probably going to be a repeat sale. So this is the Panasonic HD 640B video cassette recorder. And I'm pretty sure this actually featured on our first weekly breakdown video. Because, yeah, it actually got returned. And I will admit, I was really miffed about the return. Because I got a message saying from the guy, oh, it doesn't pause and it doesn't fast forward. I'm a television engineer. I know what I'm talking about. And I'm like, just send it back. I know that there's nothing wrong with it. It was fully tested before it went. And then, yeah, it come back, tested it, and yeah, it all worked. So I did report the buyer, because if you do get a buyer that abuses the return system, and in my eyes, if they put an item down as faulty and it's not faulty, that to me is they're just trying to return it for free. So once I made sure that it was the correct VHS that I'd sent, I then did report the buyer, and then what happens is eBay will look at it and then credit back the return postage. So for me, it was about £7 to post it back. So yeah, it's a sizable amount to get back. So yeah, as it stands at the moment, I've not had that credit back. So at the moment, our item cost for this is £20.52. That includes the original purchase price, the £6.59 to send it, and the £7 something or other to send it back. So yeah, it was a bit miffed about that. But what did happen is that original sale was actually on a offer. So if I remember rightly, it was it sold for £55 on under offer, plus sort of the £6.50 shipping. Whereas once we got it back, relisted it for the same price that I had it originally listed for before, and it actually sold for full price this time. So pretty much it offset my losses for the shipping. So our total, so as you see there, total sell price was £69.50p. Total profit was £32.54p, for a total ROI of 159%. So yeah, really happy with that. Really happy that we did actually make a good profit on this in the end. And yeah, as you'll see there, it did actually go through the global shipping program. So yeah, we will. I'll keep a close eye, and when that gets delivered, yeah, just keep an eye on things. And then moving on to our number one sale. This is a pair of Nike Baller Supreme ice skates. So once again, these are not something that you would have seen on the channel, because I actually picked these up from a local charity shop last week. So yeah, these have not hung about. So I paid up a bit on these, paid £20 for these, but they were in such amazing condition. They were boxed, and the fact that they were Nike. I don't think I've ever seen a pair of Nike ice skates when I've been out hunting. So yeah, originally I had them listed for £110 plus shipping. Then with these, I was actually getting a flurry of offers through on these. So I had a couple of people come through. They offered £70. Both of them offered the same price. Then I counted them both at £100, and then the guy that finally bought them counted at 90. I looked at it and I was like, that's £96.50p. That's a sizable profit. So yeah, I accepted it. So yeah, as I say, paid £20 for them. Sold for £96.50p. Total profit was £56.46p. So yeah, absolutely amazing. Really happy with that. And as I say, they did not hang about. I think they sold within about 48 hours. So yeah, really happy with that. Total ROI on that was 282%. So yeah, that is going to wrap it up for another week. This today actually, so I'm filming this on the Monday, and I've already had a flurry of sales. I think we've had about 5 sales today, totaling up to probably about £100-ish, if not a bit more actually. So yeah, hopefully we're getting lined up for a good week this week. And I will admit, 2 of the sales that actually come through today, both sold within about an hour. And I will say they were both accepted. They were both received offers. But yeah, I received the offer within an hour of listing them, and yeah, still made decent profit on them both. So yeah, so that is going to wrap it up for today's video. But before you head off, if you did enjoy the video, don't forget to hit that like button. And if you're not already, smash that subscribe button and ring the bell to be kept up to date when I upload new videos. And yeah, with that said, thank you so much for watching today. Really hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one. All right, bye.